What's going on YouTube? Flashy here, and as you saw by the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about my 5 favorite characters to play in Mortal Kombat 11. Now, the question I definitely get asked most on this channel is who is my main character in this game, and unfortunately, I've never really been able to answer that, which is actually very bizarre because before MK11 and before I started making YouTube videos, anytime I played a fighting game, I only ever used a single character. I found a main and I stuck with it, no questions asked. But once MK11 released and I realized I wanted to make videos for every character in the game constantly, I obviously had to learn the entire cast. And in doing that, I kind of lost the idea of a main and just had characters that I felt like playing or who I was doing well with that week. So instead of talking about who my main character is, I'm going to be talking about my favorite characters. This could be because I like their playstyle, I think they look sick aesthetically, or I like them from a lore standpoint. This will be much more of like a chilled out talking video. So if you like videos like these, let me know by leaving a like, and in the comment section below, be sure to leave your 5 favorite characters to play in this game, or if you just have a single main, let me know who that is. So let's get right into it with number 5, Kollector, a newcomer to the Mortal Kombat universe with MK11, and honestly a character that I thought everyone was gonna love when he was announced. 6 arms, loves shiny things, has a ton of different weapons at his disposal. What's not to like, right? But it kind of seems like everyone's on one side of a coin. You either love Kollector and want him back in the next game, or you never want to see those beady eyes ever again. For me personally, there's a few reasons why I really enjoy playing the character. First off, his moveset is like completely unique. There is nobody else that plays even remotely close to Kollector. His stand 4 covers an insane amount of range. His forward 1 is a low combo starter. It can catch people. You can do some crazy stuff with that. And his combos are like so addicting to do, especially if you're running his armor break relic lure. You are just completely in control of your opponent's meter because you choose when to pop them up for combos, when to keep it completely on the ground so they can't break away, and they rack up some serious damage. All the mind games there with relic lure. Are you going to go for combos, armor breaker? Do you want to pop them up with stand 4? Do you want to go forward 1 for the low? Do you want to throw if you're using the command grab? There's just so much to him. I just feel like when I'm playing Kollector, I'm like completely in control of that moment. And I don't know, man. I just really like Kollector's look, the voice. He moves all weird. He does weird things, like takes the opponent's legs when he beats them. Like, who does that? But I think he fits great in Mortal Kombat. And when you want to play MK11 but want to switch it up a bit, I think Kollector is a great fit. Moving into number 4, we have one of the very first DLC characters, and that is Nightwolf. Honestly, this isn't even much of a playstyle thing. I think it's really just Nightwolf's Revenant skins. I mean, the day this character came out, I went right over to Customize to see his skins. And when I saw those Revenant ones, I was like, dude, I'm playing this character no matter what, just so I can use that in game. But seriously, the character is also like a lot of fun. It's a really grounded playstyle. A lot of times in fighting games, people, including myself, we just want to fly around on screen, do whatever we want without worrying about the other player. But I think Nightwolf takes like an opposite approach to that. Sometimes it's nice to just jump in a rank and have a much more like neutralized, grounded focus. You have to try to open your opponent up through like more traditional means, focusing on throws, mixing up your 1-1, going into your 1-1-1, getting those hit confirms. You also have the threat of the forward 2 overhead, and it makes for just some nice, really fluid, grounded, again using that word, Mortal Kombat. Also, and I don't know if anyone else pays attention to this stuff, but the sounds that his moves make are so heavy and visceral. And also, that's like a major compliment to Mortal Kombat 11 because all of the sounds in this game are just so good. But something about Nightwolves, man, they just pack such a punch. Now we're getting into our top 3. This is my 3rd favorite character to play. However, it is my most played character, and that is Raiden. Now, there's a few reasons for this. First, just being that Raiden is one of my all-time favorite Mortal Kombat characters in general. The whole Thunder God thing, I love the lightning, the electricity, it's all just so good. Also, interestingly enough, and I don't think a lot of you guys know about this, but Raiden was my first main when MKX first dropped. I actually put a ton of time into that character for the first few months of that game. But anyway, I gravitated toward Raiden in MK11 because he was actually one of the few characters that had a quote-unquote free teleport. At the time, and with what variations were available in ranked, you didn't really have many options to teleport without also doing an offensive move. And for me, teleporting in fighting games is like one of the first things I look for when I'm looking at the roster. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just like one of my play styles. But then within one of the first few games of using Thunderwave Raiden, I knew this would be my character for a while. And now all these years later, anytime I'm like really sweating or I'm trying to get that reverse 2-0 in Combat League because I go down the first game, I'll usually go over and pick Raiden every single time. And it's always Thunderwave Raiden. I've used a couple other variations with the character on the channel for like video purposes, but in terms of actually playing Raiden, I have never used anything except Thunderwave. I just think Storm Cell, Teleport, it's literally all I need in a character. Give me a teleport and give me a combo. He's also got a great mid. He's got that teleport, obviously. Some good damaging combos, some nice projectiles. It all just works really well together. Also, I think forward 3-2 in the corner when your opponent doesn't have any meter, might actually be one of the most broken setups in the game because of how well it works. If you see any of my Raiden videos, if there's ever a point where my opponent does not have defensive meter, you're going to see me do forward 3-2 probably like 2 or 3 times in a row. But I do think I play best with Raiden. Again, I'm usually trying to get those reverse 2-0s with him, so I've had to put a lot of extra practice in with the character. But again, not my most fun, not my most favorite character to play. We still got 2 more ahead of Raiden. And for the silver medal, the number 2 spot goes to Rain, probably the most underused character in the game, but for me, one of my favorite characters to play. Everything about Rain is just awesome. Like that's the only sentence I need to say. But the one thing that makes him great is how many different playstyles there are within Rain's custom abilities. You could do Water Ball Rain, Lightning Setup Rain, Hydro Boost Rain, Quantum Slice Rain, not to mention the Tidal Wave Low mix-up where you can do it on his 1-3 string, so you get 1-3 low, 1-3 overhead. There's literally like 5 variations that can all drastically change up how Rain plays. So even if you're losing, sometimes it's just a switch up of the variation and not the character. And I like that a lot. And for example, some of the other fighters on the roster, I haven't changed the variation I use on them pretty much since customs came out. And that was what, like 2.5 years ago? I have not changed that variation once. But every time I load up the game and I want to play Rain, I feel like I'm switching it up. And also for me, Rain is just one of my all-time favorite characters in Mortal Kombat. So again, as soon as he was announced, I said to myself, I don't care how good Rain is. I don't care how bad Rain is. He's going to be in my top 3, no matter what. In terms of aesthetic too, I do think Rain has some of the best skins, 100%. As well as some of the best looking moves in the game and outros. Like all the water effects just look so good, especially the mid-round taunts too. Oh, everything about Rain is just so good. I know that people don't think he's like the best character in terms of like a tier list setup, but man, I just love playing Rain. And now finally for that number 1 spot, my favorite character to play in Mortal Kombat 11 is definitely Noob Saibot. And if you guys have been watching a lot of the videos, you probably knew that this was number 1. I've always loved Noob. Something about the whole shadow aesthetic is so sick. His personal character lore of being like the creator's names backwards. He was a secret character in the old MK games. His voice in the recent games he's been in. I mean, Noob is just so sick. Honestly, if Human Smoke did not exist, Noob would probably be my favorite character in all of Mortal Kombat. But to actually switch it up and talk about his playstyle in MK11, he has that combo factor, right? That just not many other characters have in this game. And that's exactly how and why I gravitated towards him. Mortal Kombat 11, especially at the beginning when this game first came out, was much more grounded, not crazy combo focused, outside of maybe if you got a crushing blow. But Noob, even back then, could do some really sick combos that seemed like they just didn't belong in this game. Not to mention the way that his actual moves look are so smooth. The way NRS incorporated his shadow clone, the use of portals, and his sickle weapon, it all just came together to be one of the most badass characters in the game. Even now, after thousands of sets played as Noob, I'm still looking at amplified portal brutality where the opponent just falls forever. And I'm like, wow, dude, that is sick every time. Also, aesthetically, things just ended up getting better for Noob as the game went on because they released the classic costumes, right? Which look great on all the characters, but Noob's just looks so good. And then as well as his futuristic costume, which you'll often see showcased here on the channel, those look amazing as well, all the different colors. And then from a gameplay standpoint as well, customs came out, and now you can really start doing some like insane combos. If you're mixing up his amplified portals and his sickle snag, you can have that in the same variation now. And I mean, those are some massive like 40-45% combos that are going on for dozens of hits. And not many other characters can do this. Some now, yes, especially after all the time and updates and armor break and all this stuff. But it was always Noob from the beginning that just had that combo factor. I wish his movement was a little bit better. It does kind of feel like he's walking around in the mud. But man, when you're hitting those combos and you're seeing 400 damage, there's just no better feeling in the game. And that wraps up my top 5 characters to play in Mortal Kombat 11. Let me know what you guys think about this list. And also, like I said at the beginning of the video, let me know which characters you love to play in this game, whether they're your main or they're in your top 5. Thank you guys for all the support on all the MK videos. We got a ton more dropping, so be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.